Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Monga. And where is Mercedes? That's the question. And that's what I want to delve into. It seems like after the Australian Grand Prix, it just come to everybody's attention that they're not talking about Mercedes. Ferrari had a great result. Red Bull had been dominating. McLaren was on the up. Fernando, Alonso, if not watched my video yet, do watch the video before this one. But I'll get into the 20-second penalty that was handed off and what my opinion on that one is after the crash from Russell, but then how the stewards deemed it potentially dangerous for Alonso and handed him the penalty. We're talking about Aston Martin, but we're talking about Alpine, they're struggling. We're talking about Haas, surprise package. We're talking about RB with Yuki and not performing Daniel Ricciardo. We are talking about almost everybody minus Mercedes. Well, and at this point, I would implore you to kind of hit the subscribe button, push the like button, hit the bell icon to be updated on the videos whenever they get posted. Smash the subscribe button now, and let's get into it. Where is Mercedes? That's the question that we're asking, or I'm asking, because it felt to me like after the Australian Grand Prix, post-race, Toto Wolff, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff says he wants to punch himself on the nose, in the nose. That's what he's written. That's what he has said. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff says he wants to punch himself in the nose after the double DNF. Mercedes suffered a double DNF on Sundays on the Australian Grand Prix as Lewis Hamilton and George Russell both retired from the race. Mercedes boss admitted after the race that the team's start of the season has been super tough, very brutal. And this is also you have to understand, like the history of the team is undeniably great. The Silver Arrows campaign reached new depths on Sunday, Australian Grand Prix, as Lewis Hamilton and George Russell both retired to leave Mercedes fifth in the constructors standings after the first three races of the season. Mercedes, who have won just one race since the new design regulations were introduced in 2022, came into 2024 optimistic that an overhaul of their car would enable them to challenge for victories this season. Seven-time world champion Hamilton, who's leaving Mercedes to join Ferrari at the end of the season, retired with an engine failure on lap 17, having only qualified 11th, while Russell crashed out on the penultimate lap after chasing Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso for 6th. Two things to unpack here. Mercedes got it wrong. Clear, there is nobody, like, if there's anybody in this world saying Mercedes still, they can turn it around, but then they have to first admit that they made a mistake. And Toto Wolff is the great guy. He's the leader who's made a choice and basically said, yes, they got it wrong. They've made changes. James Allison's coming back. They've made changes in the technical direction, how things move. They've changed the direction of the car by going from the zero pod to kind of moving towards the Red Bull era of all the side pods and so on and so forth, the design, the aero and stuff. They've tried to move it towards them, but it's just not clicked for them. It is not happening. It is not happening at all for Toto Wolff and Mercedes. That's the biggest problem. They've been hoping that they will make a comeback and fight it, but it's not happened. They made the change last season. They thought they will get the grips in the start, but it's tricky. They are already starting on the back foot. You have to understand, everybody has, from the last season onwards, seeing what McLaren did, everybody has moved towards Red Bull. They've understood that this is the best of the rest. You have to play that game. You can't be kind of kept behind too much. But then Mercedes took it too late, too little, in my opinion, to kind of make the charge. I think they will get better through this season. They will understand the car. Of course, they had some. The Hamilton was complaining about how low the car sits. They had to solve it. The rear of the car was a problem. They had issues with the shape being too stiff and stuff and so on. The heating problems, the rear snapping. Car being unpredictable, they have no idea how they're going to deal with it. It's Mercedes we're talking about. 8-time constructors winners, consecutive. We're talking about Mercedes here, guys. Come on. Get a grip of yourselves. Has Toto Wolff has lost his grip, it seems, completely. but it feels to be like he is one of those guys who is also responsible for the comeback. So he can't just run away. He's a 33% stakeholder in this outfit with the team principal, but he has an obligation also to the success of the team. Let's get to the Toto Wolff story later, because he has mentioned something about his future as well, that he is replaceable. And that's what the question I'm asking. Does Mercedes now need a new team principal, and Toto Wolff needs to step out? Get in the comment section below now. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well while you're doing that. One thing to understand is a 7-time world champion, Lewis Hamilton, is making his move to Ferrari. You have to understand this is a double whammy for Mercedes. They're not only losing the championship battle, or they're not able to kind of get on top of the issues that they're facing with the car, but they're also losing one of the most experienced driver on the grid. And that's and that's what Toto Wolff also said. Tough to take, super tough, said Wolff, who led Mercedes to 8 consecutive titles from 2014 to 21. I would be lying if I said at this moment I felt positive about the situation and optimistic. You need to overcome negative thoughts and say, we will turn this around today. It feels very, very brutal. Despite and this is the important note, understand, guys, despite the imperfections of last year's car, Mercedes beat Ferrari and McLaren to second in the constructors' standings behind Red Bull. But Wolff's squads now appear to have fallen significantly behind in the race to chase down Max Verstappen. And this is what Toto Wolff agrees. He says, because last year McLaren was nowhere. But then after the Austrian Grand Prix, when they made some changes, they have been on a trajectory which is far greater than Mercedes have been. Ferrari, of course, have made some really good improvements after they had to make from Bonotto to Fred Vasseur, and now this is his car. So you can see the improvements. Of course, with Sainz winning, he will take the credit, but Sainz will also feel like, I'm without a job, or what am I going to do now? But this is what Wolff also said. And Wolff also understands, because Mercedes were behind, but then they still finished second. So they were not that bad. But then in the development race, others have caught them now. They are 5th. They're almost behind Aston Martin, who are now on 25 points, and Mercedes is 26. And Wolff is agreeing to this. We started this season in the belief that this car was better than last year. Then you look at last year in Australia, where Leclerc crashed out and Sainz was 4th on the road. McLaren was 17th, 18th, or 19th, and now they're 40 seconds ahead of us. On one side, I want to punch myself on the nose. On the other side, it's a testimony that when you get things right, you can turn it around pretty quickly and continue to believe. At this moment, it's very tough. And that's a great agreement as well. Like, you have to understand, this is something he understands, that it is something that he will deal with, but it is a tough situation. And the question also asked, speaking to reporters, he said, I haven't got a choice to leave Mercedes. Speaking to reporters in Melbourne after the race, was asked whether he has considered his own position, giving Mercedes prolonged struggles. And he said, as a owner of this business, I need to be sure that my contribution is positive and creative. I will be the first one to say, if someone has a better idea, tell me, because I'm interested to turn this team around as quickly as possible, and I'll happily give my input and see what that would be or who that could be. So Toto Wolff is basically saying, guys, maybe I have lost the script. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the guy who will make this team recover. Maybe there is a new team principal out there who we need to get into. Who could that be? Let me know. And we might have a different discussion. Is Binotto the guy? Is Gunther Steiner that guy? Or is there somebody somewhere in the Red Bull team who might be looking for a change? Does Christian Horner? I don't think that'll ever happen, but Christian Horner going to Mercedes, the team principal, that's never going to happen, in my opinion. That's just like whimsical things. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this crazy idea that I just had? And guys, if you've not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button now. Do it now. And he goes on to say, like, this is very interesting from Toto, it's almost like a hyperbole. He says, we have a physics problem. not a philosophical or an organizational problem. We haven't swallowed a dumb pill since 2021. It's just we don't understand how, we just don't understand some of the behaviors of the car that in the past we would have always understood. I look into myself in the mirror every single day about everything I do, and if I believe that I should ask the manager a question or the trainer question, I think it's a fair question. But it's not what I feel at the moment that I should do. Wolff then explained a situation that he cannot be talked about, like the manager of a football team, given he will remain tied to the Mercedes regardless of whatever or whether or not he remains to his role due to the 33% ownership of the stake in the team. He added the big difference. It's not like the manager question in terms of this, my job. I'll stop the job and then somebody else is doing the job and I'll go to Chelsea or to Liverpool or over to Ferrari. I haven't got that choice, which is also unfortunate. I'm not a contractor or employee that stays. I have got enough of this. My hamster wheels keep spinning and I can't jump out. And that's very interesting here, guys. Is Toto Wolff feeling the pressure now? Is this getting to him? Like, and this is what Horner always said. Like, if you remember the Drive to Survive videos or the Drive to Survive earlier seasons, where Red Bull was like chipping at it. There's an episode where Krishna says Toto Wolff has never lost. He has seen the dominance of a team. So it's very hard for him to swallow that that his team is no longer there. And that gets on you. That takes a toll. That becomes a spiral. That becomes an issue. And that's what's happening right now, in my opinion. Toto Wolff will be hoping that please, 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 somebody just save us from here. Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari is not a good sign. Him saying these things that they've been trying to spin. Mercedes has been trying to spin a lot. Toto Wolff has been on the forefront of saying, guys, we're doing well. We're improving. I trust this team. I believe in this team. This is the first time he's saying, I don't know where we are going wrong. We need to have a deep, hard introspection. And that's what I'm thinking. Where is Mercedes right now? What is happening with that team? Who is leading that back? I feel Toto Wolff is exhausted. I think he's run out of steam. He needs to kind of, he's doing an Anfield. He's doing a Jurgen Klopp. He's burnt out. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League. He's won the FA Cup. He's won everything that he could with Liverpool. And now he just can't take it. And that's what's happening right now with Toto Wolff. He needs to, I think, take a break for himself, for the team, for the better of the team. Of course, we all miss Niki Lauda. What a man he was. Like, you know, that's sometimes these are the moments where you miss the like old guys who had the right amount of composure, calmness, patience around their heads to kind of, rather than making hard choices, rather than kind of jumping onto like, this is the way we should change this, we should change. Like, they're more like subtle and get things done in the order that they would like to. But Mercedes is all on Toto Wolff right now. It's his decision who he feels can get in his job, first of all. Who, in your opinion, do you feel can take his job? Is it who would you feel? There's Andrea Stella is doing an amazing job at McLaren. There are a lot of people already. There's some people out of the job. Binotto, of course. Gunther Steiner, of course, known. We also had Otmar Sofnau, exactly, from Alpine. How can I forget that man? He's there available. So, you know, Sofnau comes in, takes the position, and Toto gets a little more chill. But let me know in the comment section what do you think. There's a lot happening with Mercedes. Chinks in the armor, Russell, Hamilton. But who, of course, the bigger question as well is the fact who gets a second seat for Mercedes. They can't put, I think at this point, Toto Wolff should just call Carlos Sainz. He should be like, Carlos, you get the car. You're the man. Get this team up in the order. And, you know, you get the same machinery. Show what Ferrari missed and messed with you. Kimi Antonelli, he can wait in the wings. We can have him wait for like a couple of years. He can get trained with you, looking at you and Russell. He can be a reserve driver on the paddock. But I want consistency. Consistency is the key right now. Somebody who can give feedback. The problem will be with somebody who can give feedback to the team to kind of ensure they improve steadily and slowly. That's a big question now as well, in my opinion. Who actually would want to go there as well, right? Like, who would take the chance? Because Mercedes definitely don't have they're not on the upward trajectory, and it's all performance business eventually. It's not like nobody's doing a favor to anybody here. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think? Where do you feel Mercedes will go from here? What do you feel would be the best position? Like, where do you feel the position will be for Mercedes? Will they be P5? Will they be P4? Will they be, like, constructors wise, where? Because you have to understand, Aston Martin has the same wind tunnel. They have the same car, they have the same engine, but they're outscoring. They're doing better than Mercedes right now. Something has to happen. Something needs to change. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you watched till now and you've not hit the subscribe button, do me a favor. Just smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell icon, and I catch you in the next one.